You already know you're capable of this. That's never been the question. The question is, why is it still not happening? What if it's not because you're still missing a piece of the puzzle? What if that's just a myth? And what if the thing that's been keeping you stuck has simply been the fact that you believed in the myth? Welcome to The Shift. This is a special series here on the Freedom and Ease in Online Business podcast, where I walk you through the exact process for going from trading your hours for dollars to building real leveraged income in your online service business. I'm your host, Miriam Castilla, business and money strategist. And if you've landed here, I have a feeling that inner voice of yours has been getting pretty loud lately. Good. Let's give it somewhere to go. This is episode 1. So, you already know you're capable of this. That's never been the question. The question is, why is it still not happening? What if it's not because you're missing a piece of the puzzle? What if that's just a myth? And what if the thing that's been keeping you stuck has simply been the fact that you believe the myth to be true? Because here's what I know about you. You've done the work, you've invested, you've tried things, you've worked hard, and you've built something, likely a lot of things. And that inner voice, the one that says you're meant for more than just trading every hour for dollars, that voice has never let up. It won't leave you alone. And it's not because you're delusional listening to voices, it's because the inner knowing is so strong. So today we're going to talk about why you're still here, why it's not at all your fault, and why everything is about to make a lot more sense. So let's go. So here's the thing I really want you to hear today, that the solutions you've been investing in, they haven't been wrong as such. They were probably exactly right, maybe for where you were at the time. But the problem is that nobody told you when you had outgrown them and it was time to move up to the next level of actually integrating all those things you'd gathered. So you just kept going in that same cycle, buying basically the updated version of the same puzzle piece that you already had. You know, new packaging, new presenter, new platform, but basically the same thing. And because the market is constantly refreshing its messaging to stay relevant, it always kind of looked like it was something new, something that maybe you were missing. But it wasn't. It was the same starting point solution dressed up in this year's messaging. But you're not a beginner anymore. You've been cycling through these beginner level solutions dressed up as advanced ones, and that is the missing piece myth. And look, the industry isn't doing it on purpose. The messaging is just simply built for people who genuinely still need those starting point solutions. But you've outgrown that conversation. You just didn't realize it because nobody tapped you on the shoulder and told you there was a next conversation to be heard. So, you do not need another piece of the puzzle. You need to start connecting the ones you already have. Picture this as way of analogy. You're standing outside the most gorgeous hotel, let's say the Four Seasons, and you really want to go in there. You want to enjoy all it has to offer. You can see the lobby through the glass. It's beautiful, it's warm, it's lush, it's tropical, it's luxurious, and you know that that's where you belong. So you step into the revolving door. But every time you step in, you're carrying something, a new funnel strategy, a new content system, a new launch method, maybe a new course that promises to be the thing. And each time you're convinced, this is like the outfit that finally gains me entrance into the lobby. This is the thing that says, I belong here and I'm ready. But the door just keeps spinning and you end up getting spat out into some smelly side alley. And that's the truth that nobody says out loud. The door doesn't care what you're carrying. It doesn't care the outfit you're dressed in. The outfit is not the variable. The exit, where you exit that door, is determined by only one thing, where you decide to plant your foot and step into, right? And for me, I had this amazing experience, which is kind of embarrassing, but, you know, we're friends, so I'll share it with you. I spent 4 months and $15,000 on my shiny new strategy, on what I thought would be the thing that would gain me entry into the lobby of the luxury hotel that I wanted to enter, also known as the next level of my business, hitting 7 figures. And I spent 4 months and $15,000 on learning how to run ads on YouTube, because I was doing organic content. I've got my Facebook group. I was playing with Meta ads, and nothing was really gaining traction. So rather than thinking that I needed to get better at the things I already had, I convinced myself, and a very good salesperson convinced me, that this was the missing piece of the puzzle. So I spent all that time, all that money, plus about 25 hours a week of my own time and the time of my VA on top of that, creating more content specific to the YouTube ads strategy. It was more time, more money, more energy pouring in. But guess what? At the end of the day, I still ended up back in the same old smelly side alley. And so that's when I realized it wasn't that this was going to be the strategy that would change everything in my business. And it was time for me to make a decision to stop collecting and start connecting and working with what was already there, to get the most out of the pieces of the puzzle that I already had, and to make sure that they were the right pieces that I was focusing on, rather than adding yet another new one, substituting something I already had. And, I think because it was such an expensive lesson, both in time and money, it really made me sit and reflect on what the hell I was doing and what was going on in my head. And so I stopped all the spinning. I culled so many things. I don't run YouTube ads. I never really persevered past that first 4 months. And I went with what actually worked for me and what I already had, and just focused in on that. And I stopped collecting new puzzle pieces. And guess what? It actually worked. My income went up. My working hours went down. Yay. And everything shifted. And it wasn't because I found the missing piece of the puzzle. It's because I stopped looking for one. So here's the thing about the industry. And I say this with, every best intention, because I'm a part of it. But the industry's job, the coaching industry's job, is to market, to make the next thing look like the thing that you need right now. And it's not personal. It's not malicious. It's just what good marketing does. But those ads don't know you. They don't know your specific situation. They don't know whether you're a beginner who's actually missing this piece of the puzzle in their toolkit, or whether you're somebody who's already had 10 or more iterations of the same piece of the puzzle. And because you haven't managed to make it work for you, you're falling for the illusion that this is something new that you need. And look, we're all susceptible to it. All of us, like I just shared my story, right? It's kind of like when you're standing in the skincare aisle and, you walk in to get a moisturizer, just a simple cheap one, and somehow you leave with 3 new serums, a new SPF, and something involving a jade roller that you never use. And when you get home, you open the bathroom cupboard and, oh, look, you've already got 5 other creams that all promise to do pretty much the same thing. Or is that just me? So I now have a personal rule that applies to skincare and many other such purchases, including things in my business, and that's sleep on it and check your cupboard first. Have you already got it? 9 times out of 10, I already have what I need, and your business is exactly the same. So it's like having a fully stocked kitchen and more recipes than you'll ever need, and still going, why am I going hungry? Well, the question isn't, what else do I need to add to the pantry or the fridge, or what other recipes do I need to collect? You need to get on with putting some of those, not all, as my beautiful late husband used to do, some of those herbs and spices and ingredients together to make a beautifully cohesive, delicious meal. So the question is, what do you need to do with what you've already got, and what can you do? Because the industry is brilliant at making you feel like something's missing, but recognize that that is its job, Your job, and this is what this whole series is about, is to engage your own inner knowing, to ask yourself, do I actually need this? Or have I already got it just in different packaging and it'll just end up being a distraction that adds more noise? Most of the time, you've already got it. You don't need more pieces of the puzzle. You just need to connect the ones you already have. So the solutions you've invested in, they weren't wrong. It's just that you've outgrown the conversation they were built for and the level of business that they were built for. That's not you anymore. But that's not you failing. That's you having made progress and having outgrown those things. You don't need them anymore. So stop collecting them and spending time on them. The missing piece myth is a real thing. It's all pervasive. And look, it's not your fault that you fell for it because marketers are very good at their job. But now you know. Now you know to look out for it, to stop, to think, to reconsider. Remember that the revolving door doesn't care what outfit you're wearing. The exit, where you end up, is determined only by the decision you make as to where you're going to step out of it. You already know you're ready, darling. That voice that won't quit, that is not wishful thinking. That is your inner knowing, and it has been right all along. So if you're done stepping back into that revolving door with yet another new outfit, ending up back in the same old smelly side alley, then you are absolutely in the right place, because each episode of this series will walk you through one step of the shift, the exact process for building leveraged income without burning out, without reinventing the wheel, and without needing one more thing that you think you don't yet have. And to go alongside this episode, the best thing I can offer you is my freebie fix. It is free, and it is the first practical step in building the kind of traffic that will bring your ideal clients into your world consistently without paying for ads or dancing on TikTok. Now, I just need to say this. This is not about you creating a new freebie, because you've got more than you need. This is about you culling the noise and identifying the one freebie that is most aligned with you, your business, your goals, the way you want to show up, the kind of clients you want to attract, and the income you want to generate, so that you know to focus on that. Because before we build leverage, we want to make sure we have the right people flowing in. And this is where it starts. So the link to grab yourself my freebie fix is in the show notes below. Grab it, have a look, and then I'll see you in episode 2. In that next episode, we're going to get into what actually gets you out of the revolving door. And it's simpler and closer than you've been led to believe. So if this episode has landed, make sure you share it with another awesome woman in business in your world who needs to hear it. She will thank you for it. And until next time, have a magical day, and I'll see you in episode 2. Bye for now.